when we traveled to Gansu and Shanghai, we were actually tracing the steps of a pilgrim who traveled there in the 10th century. And this was a wonderful, wonderful trip. So this shift from my original kind of research to the new the Dunhuang studies was completely an accident, but I don't regret it.
What do you think is the connection between the Dunhuang study and the China study?
A large number of manuscripts were found in this so-called library cave, but there were also manuscripts and even printed things found elsewhere in different caves. So the study of all of these things we could call Dunhuang studies. So this is a modern term. It's not something that existed before the 20th century. So there was a lot of overlap with China studies or sinology because a big number of manuscripts were taken to the West. So they were in Paris and London. And then local scholars, they worked on them. So they studied them. And then they published their results. So technically speaking, this was part of sinology, right? And because this was new material, people were publishing interesting research that was influential. And so later development of this field, sinology, or China studies, was actually to a large extent, or to a significant extent, based on the Dunhuang material. My new book is looking at Chinese manuscripts from Dunhuang and also other places in Western China. And the thing that I'm trying to do is to look at them, kind of zoom out a little bit, and to look at them from a larger or broader perspective. Meaning that I want to also look at the same time at the manuscripts that are in Central Asia.
Dunhuang is the crucial hub on the Silk Road. So how do you evaluate the role of Dunhuang?
Dunhuang is at this narrow land that connects east with the west. And for that reason, it's been always very important, starting from the Han Dynasty all the way to the Yuan Dynasty. And with the Yuan Dynasty, it kind of lost its importance because there was a maritime route and there were other roads around it. But for quite a long time, let's say 1,000 years, it was really an important hub. And that also meant that everybody went through it, and so culturally and also economically, it was a thriving community.
Can you explain the exchange and the cooperation between China and the other cultures?
We all want to know more about these manuscripts, and it's not just a kind of an idle hobby that we want to know about one manuscript or the other, but we're learning about the whole period. We're learning about medieval China. And I think Western scholars and Chinese scholars are all interested in this, but they probably go at it from a different perspective, a different point of view. So they study them differently. And so their results are a little bit different. They're not contradictory, obviously, because it's the same material, but they look at it in a slightly different view, from a slightly different point of view. And that's actually very valuable, I think. So we kind of complement each other. This exchange is very, very beneficial for both sides. 我来上海感觉很好，可能有10年没有到，变化很大，更新、楼更高、更丰富，对，很好。